Water everywhere, but before you take a drink, there's some things about our water on this detox, cleanse, and fast break about water I think you should rethink. So, water, real quick, I have it drawn up there 0 to 9, but it goes 0 to 14 as the pH balance. Anything less than 7 is acidic, anything above 7 is alkaline. The human body likes to stay around 7.9. Anything above 9 the body cannot use, and it goes into a state of high alkalinity, destroying anything the same way that alkaline substances act on acids. In other words, acids which feed bacteria and viruses lower the immune system. Salts kill bacteria, viruses increase immunity. And the body, once again, 7.9 to maintain a healthy level of intestinal bacteria to keep the hygiene, the immune levels at a optimal efficiency. So about 9 gallons is how much the human body is composed of, and so we are drinking 9 glasses of water daily. Alright, and so here it is. Let me just briefly show you what kind of water I'm working with. I know you see this plastic and you're curious and you're like, what's going on with the plastic? And it says purified water, but it is purified. It's Lighthouse distilled purified water. We take this this here Brita filter, which isn't a bad filter. It's pretty decent, and we take it from the city source, which is supposed to be cleaned really well. But when you go ahead and cook it down, you cook all of that water, this is what you're left with. Alright, now this is stuff floating around in your pipes, you know, because hey, the water treatment plant cleans it from the source and then pumps it to you. But what you're getting in between the water treatment pump and your house is this. Now also inside of this is some other heavy metals, and you know, I just recently saw an article that had that said lots of antidepressants, blood medications, hormone regulators, and so on and so forth was also in the water. So once again, when you distill water, you're purifying it, because you know, water, it vaporizes and then condenses and it becomes water, which is what we have over here with this water crystal card. This one is specifically as prayer, so we're praying over the water. But this water, you know, is purified and absent of all that stuff in there. So just, you know, for plastic storage, when we make lots or high quantities of water, we put it in this, which is a 2 in a triangle, BPA free, or at least it should be, you know. So we'll store it in this, you know, sometimes when we know that we're going to drink a lot of water, like we have been doing. Outside of that, we go to this guy over here, which is something of a measurable device in terms of how much water you're actually consuming. This is about just under half a liter, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I think it is a liter, but somewhere in the range of like 20 to 28. So, but I've been drinking about 4 of these daily. So even though I'm not too for sure on like the amount, I know that each time I drink it, I'm drinking double, you know, or at least at minimum 18 ounces of fluid water, you know. And like I said, I'm doing this about 4 times a day, so 4 times 18 at best, and you know, you could do the math. It's late. You're about to go to bed. Also, while I'm thinking about it, there's also this food combining health chart, food combining for health. And so just real brief, like just to help you get an idea of what it is that you should be doing with your sweet fruits, which as you see are your apricots, your dried fruits. These are best combined with celery and lettuce. Do not use with acid fruits. Alright, so we'll move down into the next category after that, subacid fruits. Combined with acid or sweet fruits, but not both. Good with lettuce or celery. Alright, so you got pears in there, you have grapes, you have plums, apples, what else is there? It looks like there's also even a papaya in there as well. And you know, some good stuff. Acidic fruits are best combined with subacid fruits, but not sweet fruits. Good with lettuce and celery. These kind of fruits include grapefruit, All right, we're gonna be talking about grapefruit in a couple of days. That includes pineapple, kiwi, tomatoes are also acidic, strawberries are also acidic, and pomegranate. So if you're consuming a lot of these, for starters, you should not be over consuming too much fruit. You need to be moving into the vegetables. But like, this is a good way to start. But like, just understand that you're also going to spike your sugar levels, your glycemic index, and when you come crashing down gradually, even on healthy natural fruit sugars, you can get a little hypoglycemic symptom, which is just like it can range. Like the symptoms of hypoglycemia range from anxiety to palpitations, increased heart rate. What else is there? Also, an anxiety, if I didn't say it, it could feel like panic attacks are starting to happen. Even depression, all right? And even if it's like so bad, like when the sugar drops so bad, and if you're not able to get that source because you're jonesing and you're jonesing and you're jonesing for that sweet, sweet, sweet nectar, just understand what your body is going through, okay? Keeping it moving, let's talk about these vegetables. Now, vegetables are great for you, okay? Vegetables combine well with most foods. And, this picture shows many of the most superfood, nutrient-dense, viable foods that you can ever think of. From the top all the way to the bottom, you got cabbages, a little bit of kale, some spinach, red cabbage, white broccoli. I like to go with the, white cauliflower. I like to go with the green cauliflower. There's also some celery, and there's eggplant there, which is a nightshade. So you want to be careful about that because it kind of feels like a little bit greasy when you eat it. And it's got like lots of good fats in there for you. We're gonna get into those foods in the next 2 days. Also broccoli. You see broccoli, green peppers, red peppers, alfalfa sprouts, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, zucchini, cucumber, and then some radishes, some more broccoli, and even down to some snap peas or edamame. Now, for these foods, if you are a person who is a little bit on the heavier side, you need to ferment these foods. When I say ferment, I mean that you need to soak them in vinegar for at least 4 to 24 hours, all right? And then after you've soaked it in vinegar, apple cider vinegar preferably, you would then steam these vegetables or add them at the very end of your food preparation. So like when you're making your soups and stews and and your salads, which we'll start going into also tomorrow with food preparation, you want to know that you want to fermenting it in apple cider vinegar helps to increase the thyroid activity. So that means that it's going to promote digestion, which means that if you're heavier and you have a thyroid related condition and you're not properly digesting, or you just find that you're gaining weight very easily, adding the vinegar will help to counteract what these foods normally do, which is slow down the metabolism. But when you ferment them, once again fermenting them, you reverse that, so you speed up the metabolism, which means once again you're making it easier for your body to digest, which means less energy to put towards digestion, which means you're not going to feel as tired, okay? So be sure to put the majority of these in some your cabbages, your kale, your dark leafy greens, your broccolis, your cauliflower, and your turnip greens, mustard greens. You want to soak those, okay? Once again, we'll come back to some more of these vegetables because there's lots of nutraceutical medical applications, all right? So we're going to get into that later on. Proteins. Everybody's concerned about their protein. Proteins combine best with salads. Do not use with sugars and starches, all right? Once again, do not use proteins with sugars and starches, all right? So if you're going to consume walnuts, peanuts, which you should not be. This is on the do not eat list. Peanuts are on the do not eat list. Also, edamame is on the do not eat list if you have an estrogen related cancer. Just trying to avoid, once again, even with edamame, you ferment it, the estrogen stimulation aspects of it goes away. So peanuts, avoid them. They got fungus in it. It adds to candida. We're going to talk about that when we get into food-based allergies. So your beans, your lentils, your seeds, these are all even down to your grains. They're all proteins. All right. So you have to be careful about combining them with your sweet fruits. All right. You should not combine these with sugars or starches. Your starches are your potatoes, or your breads. Not your potatoes, but your sweet potatoes, your yams, your yuca. All right. So be sure to add that to that if you're gonna add it like that. You can make a nut cheese, which is better than putting processed cow cheese or any other cheese alternative onto cheese related product onto your potato. Try it, just try it. You never know, you'll like it. We'll talk recipes later on. Starches, proteins, starches, they don't mix. Remember that. Best combined with greens, salads. No tomatoes. Do not use with proteins and fruit. So your pumpkin, your coconut, your carrot, your sweet potatoes, your artichokes, your gourds, your gourds, meaning like your squashes and stuff, and even down to your corn. You want to avoid combining those with tomatoes. Do not combine those with proteins or fruit, okay? Meaning like these things have lots of sugar in it. They can be consumed by themselves. They'll sustain you for a long period of time, which is great. Melons are best eaten alone. Do not combine well with other foods. And trust me, they don't. They'll make you feel nauseous. You combine like bread or like some other fruit, like your melons should go good with really like nothing. Really just eat them by themselves. Cantaloupe, honeydew, those are great. Watermelon by itself, the juice by itself is great for, like if you're in a very humid, hot environment. It helps to fight what is like what we call damp heat in Chinese medicine. So that means that your body just produces a little extra mucus, and it's like also related to fat accumulation, and it gets in places where it shouldn't be, like in your intestines, which slows down and stalls your digestion. Not to mention melons are also very watery, and they have like a level of acidity that helps to ferment certain starches. Okay, so you don't want to ferment your starches. You don't want to ferment your proteins. You're going to create poison in your body. Okay, and although it doesn't seem like it's poison, like it's a small level of ingested poison, so that can slow you down. That can make you feel pretty tired because your body's got to fight that. And if you don't know why you're feeling tired, just step back for a moment and consider what it is that you're eating or how you're eating it. And then also take a further step back and say, how fast am I eating or drinking my food? Which brings me to the next and final thing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to go ahead and come to the front of this. Ladies and gentlemen, we've discussed meditation, probably not to the best of my ability though. So let me just discuss what meditation is. Meditation is just a moment where you silence your mind. Everything that is some form of a distraction goes away, and there's a clarity. All right, and so in a book called Healing with Meditation and Prayer, which is based on the Edgar Cayce readings, Edgar Cayce even says that entering a state of meditation, or where you silence your mind, helps to increase the powerful aspects or the manifestations of your prayer. All right. So, in your prayer just being, I didn't touch on that too much because there are so many different walks of life, and with each walk of life, there's also a different interpretation of what religion, spirituality, etc., can become. So, whatever form of prayer it is that you engage yourself in, whether you believe in a higher power, whether you don't, whether you believe in yourself, ultimately you're communicating with a higher form of consciousness that is honestly, energetically connected to the world around you, to the universe. Everything that we're thinking emits a vibration and a frequency. So if you're thinking about Taco Bell because you're going through Taco Bell withdrawals, or you're thinking about Little Debbie snack cakes, or you're thinking about your next Camel cigarette or something of the sort, Black and Mild, alcoholic beverage, your body is going through these stages of withdrawal, and so you're going to need a little bit of prayer. You're going to need to pray and faith it until you make it. Okay, so go a little bit slower. And that's what meditation is about, like slowing down the mind, allowing us just to focus and concentrating. And there are many, 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 many different forms of meditation, such as the typical everybody sitting on the floor in full lotus posture with the bindi on the forehead and like om and the chanting and stuff. That's one form of meditation. It's a great form of meditation if you're into that sort of thing. If you're not into that sort of thing, then there are other forms of meditation that you may need. Sometimes people just can't sit still. Like, I am a fiery type, wood element, water-based creature, being. I'm elemental in that fashion. And so, like, I can't sit still. None of my elements are about being still. They're about flowing. They're about moving, all right? So, sitting meditation doesn't always help me. So I have to do moving meditation, or what I like to call mindful meditation while moving. So I perform Qigong meditation. It's slow, subtle, coordinated movements which help stimulate the brain in ways that you've never ever experienced before. I mean, yoga is great. It's a slow movement. It's very long. It's lean. It's beautiful. It's sexy. I mean, ultimately, that's what your health is about, right? Like being sexy. Whether that's on a physical level or a spiritual and mental level, you want to be sexy in the eyes of whatever it is that you find greater than yourself, you know, or what you are desiring to give you attraction to, give attention towards. So yoga is great for that, but it might, you know, if you need to settle and slow down a little bit further, Qigong might be what you need. Even Tai Chi class, all right? Other forms of slow movement. While we're still discussing slow activities, painting, drawing, breathing, all very slow things that help focus and concentrate the mind, okay? You'd be surprised how much better you feel after just 3 simple minutes of breathing, okay? So give breathing a try. Give breathing a chance. What else do we have? Oh, while I'm thinking about singing, singing can also be a form of meditation. Singing, the emittance of thought transmitted through vocal inflection. You know, like your thoughts emit a frequency. Your words also emit a frequency. There's some passages in many holy scripts and textures that say, be careful of the words that you speak, because basically there's power in your words, and whatever you say, you will do. Earlier today, or in one of the last videos I did, I said, what did I say? I said, you have to, whatever it is that you think you can do, you will do. So like if you think that you cannot achieve something, you're right. And you will not achieve it. And that is truth to you, because you have already given energy and direction towards not being able to accomplish something. So reprogram that. So let's slow it down. So taking a moment just to meditate and be mindful of what we're thinking about, what we're going to say. I was told as a child I had diarrhea of the mouth, which is like basically I had no filter, so everything came out. And now I say very little and I think a whole lot more. And maybe that's a good thing, you know, maybe it encourages and increases the value of my words. But I won't know that until I go to cash in, right? Or at least just to see like what this investment is doing. And so in making a meditative investment, you allow yourself to enter that calmer state. So, and this is like a form of ingesting, all right? Ingestion means that you're consuming something. So while we're talking about consumption, let's talk about the water consumption again. Or rather, before we get to water, because that'll make it 360, let's talk about food. Food meditation or eating meditation. Food preparation is a form of meditation. Breathing, going slow, being mindful not to cut yourself with it, being mindful of what ingredients are going into it, thinking about the medicinal properties of the food and how it's going to affect your body. All that is a form of meditation. You cook with love. You cook with intention, with thoughtfulness. Make sure that you're praying over your food, which is to say that you're putting powerful, higher consciousness intentions onto your food, which is charging it with a different kind of energy as well, which is also nourishing. So while you're eating, eat slow. Take a moment just to breathe with each bite. Most of us don't eat our food very well, and this is the reason why we have like these stalled bowel movements also, because like we're just gorging and you think that you're eating the food, but it's almost like the food is eating your face because you're not even taking a chance just to enjoy the flavors, just to enjoy the aromas. Do that first. Take a nice deep breath over your food, just to get a whiff of how it smells. How does that make you feel? Think about that. Mindfulness. Then, taking a small portion of it, placing it onto the tongue. How does the steel, or like interact with the tongue? Does it excite you? Does the cold change the property of the food? Then the flavors of whatever it is that you've chosen to savor for the evening, or for the morning, or for any of your basically 6 meals, because you should be somewhere close to 4 to 6 meals right about now. Small portions, right? And that's also another thing. Small portions are more beneficial to your digestive system than it is to do large portions, okay? So like when you're going to do like a small portion, like remember, you're going to eat again later on, like 2-hour intervals. So take your time. Breathe it in, eating meditation. And going back to our water, like I need right now. Let's go ahead and do this together, everybody. One time. Bottles up. Give thanks. Have a drink, hydrate. Not too much. We're going to go slow. Drinking meditation. Alright? Drink all your beverages slow. It's like chewing your drink. You want to chew your liquid and drink your food. So when you eat slowly, it gives you an opportunity to break everything down to the point where it's liquid, which means it's less stress on your digestive system, which means you're going to have so much more energy just on how you prepare and process your own food in your mouth. This is a process too, okay? Yum, 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 yum. That's a process, okay? Drinking water is also a process. Drinking too fast, you don't want to choke for one, like you don't want it to go down the wrong tube, or somebody tells you a joke and you're like, like because you're drinking too fast. Take your time, take a breath with each gulp, and then while you're doing that, be grateful. We set an intention. We gave gave thanks for the water. We give thanks for the food. We give thanks just for the moment of just being able just to interact with one another. And thank you for just taking a moment out of your day just to hear these words I have to say. And I hope that they've been helping you. This is day 2. We're ending on right now. I got a little moisture coming out. My body's refining the waters that I'm drinking. That's why it's also important to go slow, because like your body is slowly releasing fluids. And this is the reason why we want to stay hydrated, so that we're continuously keeping our bodies full of that plasmic fluid. 9 gallons the human body is made of. We want to make sure that we're replenishing everything that we're losing. I live in Miami. It's hot right now. Even though like it's the fall and at night it gets cool, during the day when the sun is out, even if you're in air conditioning more times than a day, you are breathing and also emitting recycled air, but you're also having gas exchange, vapors. Remember, water evaporates and then condenses. So like we're going to do a water experiment tomorrow, I think. I'm going to show you how even in an empty substance, in an empty container, there's still elements of hydrogen and oxygen in there too. Alright, which is cool because it changes the way you think about all this, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I hope you're feeling well, taking it easy, easing your way into this. We're going to discuss like symptoms of withdrawal within the next 2 to 3 days, just because we're getting more and more serious. I hope you have a chance to also have brought, had your pen and paper out. If not, that's okay. That's why this video is here, so you can always go back to it with your pen and paper. Write a couple of things that you found were useful to you. I don't know, share it with a friend. Tell them, hey, I'm doing this 40 days and 40 nights. I'm on day 2. I feel right. And I'm starting to notice little things about my skin. I'm starting to breathe better, breathing better, feeling better, energy's flowing. Even waking up earlier, my mind seems to be sharper. And you should be writing these things down. So if you have the opportunity to do a little bit of journal writing, do some journal writing. It would be very beneficial. It's, you want to track your own progression. If you have not had a chance to take a picture of yourself. Also, while you're in that picture, I want you to do something. Write on it I love myself. I love myself. I love I. I and I. I love I and I. Alright? I love myself. You know? You have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, nobody else will. Alright? So write that on a little pad on your picture, or even just put it in your bathroom mirror. Write that, and then also write, you know, a mantra. A mantra is just, you know, like a phrase that you repeat throughout the day. It also helps to center you or ground you back to your meditation, and also your prayer, which is your intention, like what it is that you desire, what you desire to see, what you desire to be, what you desire to accomplish. All right, your prayer, your intention, synonymous, the same thing. Write that also on a small little, you know, post-it pad. Put it onto the bathroom mirror. You gotta reaffirm. It's a thought process. Healthy living is about what we think and what we feel. All right, and how we process what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and our actions expressed after what we think and what we feel is a result of that. So, if you're thinking good and you're feeling good, then you do something good, right? Because they say hurt people hurt people. Well, healed, happy, whole people help heal, happy, whole people. You dig? Yeah, you do. We don't do no discouraging. We shed light. Peace and love, yo. We talking soon. Peace. Water, water everywhere. Let's all have a drink. Make sure you chew your food slow, as though it were a drink. Love, light, peace. Sorry about the kisses.